Happy Friday, Pink Shirt Gang. Welcome. I'm so excited everybody's here. We got 9 people logging on live. I forgot an apron. 1 second. Don't leave. I know this is awkward. Just give me 1 second. I'll get the apron. Okay. All right. I'm back. I thought I was all prepared going into Friday. Like a superstar. I felt really good about it. And then all of a sudden, now, day late, $1 short again. That's okay. It's all right. We fixed the problem. We're back. We're here. It's Friday. We've lived another week, survived another week of quarantine. I'm proud of all of us, but mostly me. I've gone outside twice a day for the last couple of days, only to take my dog for a quick walk. And it's been nice. It's been nice. There's been very few people on the sidewalk, almost no cars. It's been very enjoyable. It's the New York I always dreamed of, really. Just no people. It's great. Yes, Andrew, there are flutes, of course. And this you're actually going to love because our special champagne today is none other than Monsieur Paul Roget, which you actually introduced us to. That you is for Andrew TW, not everyone out there. Unless you have introduced me to this champagne, in which case that'd be really nice. But as far as I can remember, it was just Andrew TW. So yeah, we did it. We survived another week. Nice work, everyone. I don't know, what'd you guys do today? Did you guys have a good day? Good, glad to hear it. I did as well, thanks for asking. In order to keep busy around here, I've been doing a ton of stuff in the kitchen. So I actually sleep here now. I just have a little cot prepared down below, tuck myself in at night, and then, flip over some pretzel crusted chicken. It's nice. I have my nightly snack duties. I was working on some gravlax. I made that. So today I took the cured salmon out of the fridge, rinsed it all off, and got it ready for munching. So that's good. I decanted the stock that I was talking about before. So I made my own chicken stock. This is not wine. Whispering Angel is not normally this opaque, but I decanted the fat off the top of that. So real exciting here today. I got a batch of new pink shirts. That was pretty exciting. My dad sent me a little care package since we're under lock and key here almost in New York. And in the care package were four brand new pink shirts, unused. So these weren't touched. They were all in their original wrapping. They were pink shirts. This is one of them. So, and I think this is a little pink. This is a true pink, an electric bright pink. So, if you're wondering why I look pretty fancy, that's why. Brand new shirt. So thanks, Pops. Appreciate that. Yeah, it's been a good day. Hope everyone's had a good day, had a great week. It's Friday. Let's have something to look forward to. Let's get champagne going. Champagne. So this is Paul Roget. It's actually, I think, one of my favorite champagnes. It's a mid-priced champagne for us. I think it's $45 a bottle here in, like 44, $45 a bottle here in New York. And oddly enough, when we were in Paris a few weeks ago, before all this happened, actually we kind of came back right in the nick of time, but it was about the same price there. So I felt better knowing that we're not paying a huge premium to import this stuff. But it's so good. It's like my favorite nice celebratory bottle of champagne. So I hope you enjoy it, whatever you were drinking, but I like it. If you've never opened a bottle of champagne before, it can be intimidating because you might be worried about it popping off. Just take off that foil like I did, and then always keep some pressure on the top. And it's 6.5 turns. Exactly. There we go. Take the little cage off, and then we'll just nice little twist. Yeah, hello, my pretty. Yes, it is so good. Yeah, well, so $40, Ravik, I totally agree. This is more of a celebratory thing. I kind of wanted to celebrate. It's a Friday, it's the end of the week, and it's like the end of our second week together and the end of our second week in quarantine. So I'm trying to come up with some ways to basically like mark the passage of time here in quarantine, not being able to do anything. So this is what we were really looking forward to today. So that's why we're doing this. Um, what does champagne taste like? A minor. It doesn't taste like a minor, oddly enough. It tastes like, so Paul Roger I love because it's a little bit breadier. Like it's almost like, imagine a nice piece of toast with like a little bit of honey on it, warmed, and then smell that. That's kind of what it tastes like, which is a weird way to describe it, but that's the only way I can imagine describing champagne to someone who hasn't tasted it before, specifically Paul Roger. There's a bunch of terrible champagnes out there and a lot more terrible sparkling. Actually, there's not really any terrible champagnes. That's the deal. Like, that's why they protect the name Champagne. It's only from Champagne region of France, and it's very few, houses that actually produce it. And they protect that because they actually make good stuff. But when you see champagne and it's not from the Champagne region of France, it's not really champagne, and they actually are breaking the law. So like Corbel, which I don't know if they actually pay the fine or how they get around it, but they call themselves a California champagne or some. That stuff is bottom barrel grunt. I wouldn't use that to wash my car. I don't have a car, which is why I wouldn't use it to wash it, but it's also just terrible. But the nice thing about champagnes is you never get like that really tart green apple that you find in a lot of American sparkling wines. So there are some good ones. Schramsberg is good out of California. That's pretty good. That's the one I would recommend. But there's a lot of not so good ones. So anyway, okay, that's enough. Can I say the word champagne one more time? Champagne. Okay, good. Oh, by the way, this is one of my favorite little contraptions to travel with. So my wife and I go on a lot of road trips, and a lot of times we'll bring champagne with us, or a sparkling wine sometimes, or we'll buy someone wherever our destination is, or sometimes when we fly places and travel. I like having this because we're not going to finish the whole bottle sometimes. We usually finish something else. But it's nice to keep it bubbly. So I always recommend some sort of stopper for champagne. In a pinch, you can use a wine cork. So if you're at a hotel with a bar, a lot of times the bartender will have an extra cork around, and if you push hard enough, you can get it in there. So, which is great advice for anyone, really. Okay. If you push hard enough, you can get it in there. This is why I'm not a father. This is the kind of advice that I would throw out there. Well, I don't know, son. If you push hard enough, you can get it in there. Okay, good. Aerator. Ravik, no, I wouldn't use, am I missing something? Hold on, making sure I'm not missing a side conversation. Tasting fun, bubbly, and fresh. My mom said that. Great. Yeah, Ravik, I wouldn't aerate this. It's enough just to, I also wouldn't tip I know I did it at first, but you don't need to tip the glass to pour it in. Let some of those bubbles out. They want to get out. It's fine. That'll help decant it a little bit, but you don't need to aerate this. Otherwise, you get rid of more bubbles than you need to. Unless you're saying it looks like I aerated it, because these glasses, there's so many bubbles. Oh, Lauren, your glass is ready. Lover, Mrs. Pink Shirt Gal. There are so many bubbles that it does kind of look like it's aerating, but there you go, Laura. Cheers. Cheers. Happy Friday.
Happy surviving the apocalypse.
Yes, happy surviving the apocalypse.
Hello, everybody.
She says hello. Yes, yeah, Derek, welcome. Good to have you. Found my channel. You got it. Got the dad jokes down. Yes, so anyway, in a clean glass, you won't see as many bubbles flying up. That's not good. These glasses are terribly dirty. We had mimosas probably like a week ago, and the orange stuff is very difficult to clean off, so sue me. It's one of my faults. It's my only fault, really, is not cleaning this. This glass, by the way, these are very special to Mrs. Pink Shirt Gal and me. They're Tiffany glasses, but we got them as a gift. And the long story short is I bought my wife a pair of earrings. I wanted to surprise her for Christmas, get her something really nice. I bought her a pair of earrings from Tiffany, and Tiffany sent 2 pairs of earrings. The exact same things. And so I wanted to return them, and I ended up going into the store, and I said, hey, I'd love to give these back to you, and explain the whole situation. And they're like, okay, you're weird. Can we get your address? And they ended up sending us 2 champagne flutes and a bottle of champagne, and like in a nice, it was all Tiffany branded in their blue bags and boxes and everything. It was so nice. So anyway, these are very special to us. And so cheers. Happy Friday. Happy surviving the apocalypse for one more week. I'm so glad you're here. All right. Oh, it's so good. Oh, man. It really is so good. We had a bottle of Paul Rocher in Paris, and it tasted so different. Like, this is very good, but that was exceptionally good. I don't know what the difference is, if I was just in a different headspace or what, but the champagne there was, I don't know if it's just fresher. I don't know if this ages, like how long it takes to get here. I don't know. I don't know any of that stuff. I know that this is good, but that was exceptional. Okay. All right. Yes. Welcome, Ben Chai. Good to see you back. Rael, Mother. Welcome, El Dorado. Good to see you here as well. Brand new name. I don't think you've been here. I hope not, because I wish I would have remembered had you been here. Okay, today we're making risotto. This is a fun, I like this as kind of a celebratory meal because it's a little bit time intensive. We'll get going in a second, but it's a little bit time intensive. It's not exceptionally difficult, but I love it because it takes my attention full time, and usually my wife will come sit where you're standing basically, or sitting, and we'll just sit, chat, have a cocktail, and it's a nice kind of tradition. So I'm inviting you in to share this with me because another week of quarantine deserves that. Okay, so and if you need the ingredient list, go to my website, go to the blog. I know a lot of links are under construction, they're broken. The website, I'm working on it, it's brand new, but the blog part works, or if you click blog or recipes, you can find the recipe list for this. It's right at the top, it's the first one there. Okay? So, let me start heating up the broth. I do need to do that now. This is homemade chicken broth, and I think I mentioned it yesterday, but in case I didn't, my method for making this is I just throw chicken carcass, like when I'm done roasting a chicken and done carving it, I will save the bones, save the carcass, everything else. Even the insides, like if they send the neck and the kidneys sometimes, or different organs, I'll save all that stuff in the freezer until I get probably 2 whole chickens worth. I'll throw it in the pressure cooker with a bunch of water, and like a lot of water. And I usually cover it up, and then I'll pressure cook for 90 minutes on high. That's it. And then when it's done, I'll let it depressurize, cool down. I'll strain it out and then chill it. I'll get a little fat on top. You can warm that up and decant it, or you don't have to do that step. Just use it as is. It's so good. I don't actually add any other ingredients to my chicken stock, like aromatics and stuff. I just like the simplicity of throw a bunch of chicken and water in the pressure cook it for 90 minutes on high, and then you're done. What you end up with is this very gelatinous, thick, chunky, it's gelatinous, so that's why it's chunky, chicken stock. It didn't look very gelatinous when I poured it out because I had warmed it up previously, because if it's just cold from the fridge, you've got to shake, and it would have taken me 20 minutes. So I like warming it up in a little bit of water, before I'm going to use it. So, okay, let's start warming that up. We're just going to bring our chicken stock to a simmer. This is about 750 milliliters. We're doing a smaller batch today than the recipe on the website because Anthony only has like 2 small servings of risotto rice left over. So, oopsie. #quarantine. Thanks, Corona. So that's why these amounts will look a little bit lighter than you might see on the website. Okay. Hey, Monster Master, good to see you. Welcome. All right, so stock is warming up. Let's prep our ingredients. I need, where's my ingredients? Got that. Let's get some shallots. So if you don't have shallots, that's fine. Use onion. For this recipe, I think they're interchangeable. I've never tasted it side by side to see if you get much of a difference, but just go for it. You can use half an onion, you can use a whole onion. It doesn't matter that much. If you're gonna follow along with the recipe on the website, probably use half an onion, but honestly, it doesn't matter that much. Just throw as much in as you like. We're gonna be doing a 1/4" dice on these guys. So I'm just gonna remove the dry stuff here that's not... Cheers, hey gnarly turd! I heard that you might be joining us. I'm so glad you're here. Maybe you're zipping around in your Tesla right now, but thanks for stopping at a stoplight and joining us. I'm glad you guys made it back home, by the way. So Gnarly Nerd was on I don't know if your guys' flight was canceled or something due to all this stuff, but I know that you guys had to road trip back, so I'm glad you all made it back safe and sound. So, welcome. And welcome to the show. Glad to have you. I think I've said this before, but shallots are kind of like everybody says they're like a gentler, more, like just a nicer, more approachable onion, but I don't know, whatever it is, I love the flavor of these, but whenever I cut them, I cry so much more. I mean, maybe I just get a little emotional. You know, it's just, I don't know what it is. Just throw a 1/4" dice on those guys. You don't have to be real picky here. I just, 1/4" is about the right size. We just don't want stuff burning. This might be a little bit smaller than a 1/4", but you'll figure it out. A thinner knife for less crying. Yeah, that could be. Well, I could also use a sharper knife. I know this knife is getting a little bit dull, and as we've talked about here before, I've ordered a honing steel, and I might need to actually order like one of those, what am I trying to say? Like a whetstone or something, just to really get a new edge on this thing, but we'll see. It worked okay for that. All right, shallots are prepped. Take a special moment for some Paul Roger. Oh yeah, that'll work. Okay, what else am I prepping here? Got that, rice, shrooms. Oh, so I got these pre-sliced. You're gonna want to slice them about this thick. So I don't know, 1/2 centimeter, 3/8 of an inch, roughly. Just kind of use your best judgment. It's easier if you slice them so that you get more surface area for browning in a second here, instead of like a dice. So, and this is, I've got a mixed mushroom here. I got some chanterelle, some cremini. Use whatever you got. And if you don't like mushrooms or you don't have them, don't put them in. That's fine. You don't have to. Oh, El Dorado, I don't know if you asked before or after, but in case you missed, I think this is just a mushroom mix, like a medley. I've got some chanterelle, I think some cremini. Use whatever you've got. So like a button is fine. If you want to get fancy and use like hen of the woods or something, just make sure you cut it up small enough so that it's kind of bite sized, because you want it to brown and be able to cook with everything else, and not get too soggy. Also, you don't want it too big, because then you got these giant chunks and then like a little bit of rice in there. It just makes it difficult to eat. Oh, bitter. Oh, but Barbera's not bad. I would go Paul first and then Barbera. But I'm so sorry. Can I ship you some, Andrew? Monster Master, I'm great today. Thanks for asking. Unless that was meant to somebody else, in which case I'll still say I'm great today. Okay, so we got that. We're gonna bring that to a simmer. I'm gonna warm this up with a little bit of olive oil. We can start with the mushrooms now. I don't need to get the meats. You know what? I will. I'd like to have everything ready to go. Just makes it easier. Let's get some butter. So I like weighing things, so that's why I'm using a scale, just to be accurate. But if you want to go by feel, that's okay too. None of these things are going to totally change the recipe, if you have a lot or a little bit of it. All right. The only thing you want to make sure of is liquid. You're going to need enough of it. This might not even be enough, so we might end up adding a little bit of water to it. That's okay. If you don't have broth and you still really want to make risotto, you can use water. That's fine. I would maybe add some more aromatics, like if you've got onions or carrots or celery or something, You could try that too, just to get some more flavor in there. You could even put it in the water to make like a court bouillon, you know, like a quick stock. That's fine too. And you can use mushroom stock, but veggie stock, whatever you've got, as long as it's hot and liquidy. Perfect. Okay, we need some butter. This is Friday night. All right, so I'm going for about 2 tablespoons, about 38 grams. Good, close enough, a little over. That's fine, we'll get that ready. And I think we're done with the knife, so I'm gonna put this away. Yeah, Ben, or bouillon cube, good call. There's also like the spoonable bouillon stuff I've had. That's super flavorful. That works as well. Yeah, that works. Okay, let me wash this off. I just like to keep things clean. If we're done chopping, then I don't have a knife floating around that could potentially stab me. Okay. Parm. Or as we like to call it here, angel dust. We've been using so much of it lately that I ordered a full pound of it. This will not go to waste. It stays fresh for a while, so I'm not too concerned. Your dog's eating cardboard again. Rial, you have very flavorful cardboard. Okay, so what do I need? How much of this? About 25 grams as well. That's over 25. All right, so I'll just cut off this corner. Let's try that first. That's perfect. It's a little over, but we'll take it. All right, so that's there. Let's put this away. A little more. All right. You go there. Good. Yeah, great idea. Oh, with the Maggi sauce. Robert, good suggestion. I like it. Yeah, so you can use whatever mushrooms here you want. This would also go great in a pizza because it's all carbs. It's all good stuff. Okay, and I need to grate this. Where's, who was it? Was it Alexandra that's always saying, more? I think, for the angel dust, the parm. I just received a text message, and it's a very important question. It's from my father, and he asked, are we using carnaroli or arborio rice? And I hate to say it, Pops, it's arborio. I feel like I'm letting you down here. Carnaroli is better. It is the king of Italian rices. But this is more of a pantry raid. I'm getting a big shipment of food tomorrow. And this, I had to use what I had. So it's arborio. If you have access to different kinds of Italian rices, carnaroli is better. Yes, Andrew, more. Carnaroli is better. It's starchier. Like when you stir it around and everything, it's going to end up just a starchier, smoother rice dish. But it's fine. Arborio it'll be okay. And there's also some like black rice kinds as well that you can use. So there's a handful of different ones. Yeah, we know the drill. Yes. Okay. And that is pretty good. The little nub is the hardest to find. Isn't that the truth? Okay. Let's get some more. Why don't we get some more just in case, because it's easier to grate it now, and then we might have extra for topping than it will be to grate it later. So I'll get a little bit more going here. In the meantime, you know what I can do is start with the mushrooms. That way we can at least get this thing going. So I'm just gonna add a couple tablespoons of oil. This is regular extra virgin olive oil. And we're gonna need more of it. So I've got this over medium heat, all right? I'm gonna wait till that heats up. You'll smell it, it'll start to smell like olive oil. It'll smell great. El Dorado, can you use Asian rice? I don't know. I don't think so because those are shorter grains. Well, actually, it depends on what kind of rice. But I think in general, the Italian rices are better. Okay, so don't hold me to this, but I'm pretty sure they're better suited for this because they're starchier and they produce a much smoother final dish. I think it'd be stickier if you use like a traditional white rice or some of the Asian rices. But I don't know all of them. I don't know. We're kind of pushing the upper limit of my knowledge here. I mean, we actually did that a long time ago, but I just pretend well. Okay. Let's get this good. Okay, so I'm starting to smell that. It smells great. Let's add the shrooms. Perfect. Now the trick here is we want to brown these. We don't need to cook them a whole bunch yet. So I'm gonna just kind of put them in one layer if I can. I don't know if you can kind of see that, right? Let me get my champagne out of the way. Okay, you can kind of see it. I'll move the, yeah. Andrew, I'm still trying to figure out this whole video thing. You can't smell it? I thought you could. Oh, rats. Someday I'll get it. Save you. Okay, we're done with the scale and this. Boy, video's hard. Okay, let's keep you away from the heat. Okay, the parm we won't need for a little while, so let's get him in a safe zone back here. Done. Knife, we're good. And we're back. Okay, so gonna put you on the small burner here, just so you're close by. I like to have my broth at the ready. Okay, so Monster Master says, so El Dorado, yeah, you should be able to get Italian rice at most grocery stores. You'll see names like Arborio. That's probably the most common. Carnaroli is another one that'll be slightly less common. But if you look, I don't know, yeah, it should be near like the other rices. And I'm just gonna not touch this for a little bit. I just want them to brown and like kind of sear on one side. And then we'll give it a little stirry-do to get the other side. Yeah, Robin, good point. So it might be harder to find rice and pasta nowadays, but if you can find it, clear the shelves. Don't let anybody else get anything, right? That's what we're doing. I actually have a delivery of toilet paper coming tomorrow. I'm very excited about this because I bought like a normal person amount, just 6,000 rolls. Okay, good. Andrew, you can smell this, right? It smells good. I saw a great like meme going around the internet, and it was, well, I'll have to show you the graphic, but it's like, what are we getting sick from? A virus. What are the symptoms? Like coughing, sneezing, and wheezing. What are we gonna do about it? Hoard the TP. That was great. Yeah, so we're just giving these mushrooms a quick saute. I'm gonna actually take them out in a second because I want to do everything separately. I don't want the shallots to cook with it because I'm gonna lower the temp. But I've got these over medium high now, just to get them good and seared or sauteed. I don't know if you can hear it. Can you hear it? That's a good sound. You want to hear a little bit of moisture coming off, popping in the oil. You can do this in a fry pan if you want to. I just like doing it all in one pan, especially with the higher sides. It means less oil splattering everywhere else. This is the official hand signs for splatter, by the way, in case anybody's confused. Oh, Elizabeth, great question. Could you use like a pecorino? I bet you could. I don't see any reason why not, because like at least the texture's there. It'd just be a different flavor. Yeah, why not? Go for it. I mean, yeah, you've stumped me, but I'd say go for it. Let me know how it turns out. But I think you can totally use a pecorino. I don't think there's anything super special about the parm other than it's got that kind of salty umami, like, and then it melts down and it's so perfect. Okay, that's pretty good. Let's call it. I'm going to, that is hot, so we're not going to do that. You know what? If you don't want to pull these out right now, you don't have to. You know what? Why don't we make it easy on ourselves? Let's just lower the heat. We're going to call an audible here. I'm just going to pull the pan off to the side a little bit and stack the mushrooms over there, and let's just start. Let's add a bunch of olive oil. So that's like probably 5 tablespoons or so, I think. 5, 15, 16, yeah, 5, 16. It's gonna look like a lot. That's okay, because it's gonna go in this entire dish. I don't know, maybe 4, yeah. I forgot to have that. So yeah, 50 grams, that's about 3, 4 tablespoons. I'm lowering the heat to medium, medium-low. We're gonna ride that heat a little bit. It'll come down, and we're just gonna sweat the shallots. So sweating, different than sauteing. We don't need these things to pop and brown, splatter oil, right? Who's with me? We just want them to simmer, release their liquids a little bit, and become translucent. So that's what we're going for. All right, what am I missing here? Boom. Oh, good. Okay, cool. Oh, yeah, Elizabeth. Oh, yeah. I've got a side communication here. Good to see you again, by the way. Okay. And, oh, did my dad text back? What are you saying, Father? Oh, that's the same message. I just had not looked at that before. So, we're using arborio here. Carnaroli is king, and that's better. I've just got the mushrooms off to the side. Can you see that in the little one? Yeah, okay, kind of. It's good, not great. Put your oil in the air, wave it like you just don't care. Oh, God. It's been a week, am I right? We can't complain, right? We're still healthy, we're still good, we're drinking champagne, we're with each other. This is great. It's not so great out there, but in here with us, this is good. El Dorado, I've been cooking, I don't know, probably since I was a teenager. I mean, not like a lot, but I started then. And then a lot like during college, working my way through Rachel Ray cookbooks and then the Food Network folks, learning from them. And the way I learned, I just started cooking them. That's the best way I think to learn. Just like pick a couple styles of food, or just look on the internet, get a recipe. Use this recipe if you want as a starting point, and then just cook it. See what you like, what you don't like. What would you add more of? What would you take out? That kind of thing. And start thinking like, how would you do something differently? And then there are a couple of books that I highly recommend that will like really get you in tip-top shape for like a home cook. The French Laundry, if you manage to work your way through that book, I couldn't afford the truffle dishes, and I didn't do the dishes that had like the entire pig because I didn't want that much food in the tiny New York apartment. But highly recommend cooking your way through that book, because a lot of the ingredients are accessible to most of us, I think. And it's just more about technique and refinement and straining stuff, which I think is huge. So, French Laundry by Thomas Keller, highly recommend that book. That's specifically the El Dorado, by the way. If that bored all of you to tears, forget I said anything. So, okay, so this is just about sweated. And again, we're just going for translucency here. I mean, it's not gonna be totally, it's just gonna go from like purple to white. It's like someone who's been holding their breath for a while, now starting to breathe. That's what we're going for here. And I think we're there. Next, we're gonna add our rice. So the recipe on the website's for 200 grams of rice. It's usually enough for roughly 4 people or 2 Americans. And I've got half of that. So this is sad, but this is what we're doing. So add that. and then stir it around. What we're gonna do here is we're just gonna toast the rice a little bit. We just want it to brown a little tiny bit. So I'm gonna raise the heat, we're at medium now. I think I'm gonna need, but if we need more, we'll add more for the broth. What are my most used herbs and spices? Well, so it doesn't count as an herb or a spice, but salt, I think, and actually we're gonna salt now. Salt, I think, is my most used like seasoning because salt just makes everything taste better. And I don't mean salty, right? If you can taste the salt, it's probably over-salted, but for the most part, like I use enough salt. I'll put it that way. I think a lot of Americans, especially, I think are really scared of salt, and I think that's mostly from like processed food. Again, this is one guy's opinion, not based on fact or anything. I mean, I should be a doctor, but I'm not. But yeah, salt. But beyond that, my favorite is thyme. I think thyme's my favorite like herb. Any way I can put it into a dish, I will try. Rosemary, probably second. I do use a lot of parsley just to like finish a dish right on top. I think it's a nice earthy, bright vegetal green flavor and it looks pretty on top of things. That's good. All right, so this is empty, a little bit of salt, and we're gonna add actually a decent amount of salt here. So three finger pinches. We've roast a whole piglet still. Oh yeah, Ben, good. Okay, whole piglet, I could do that. But still, it's 2 people and a dog and a tiny. You know what? That's not a bad idea. I'd like to find a way to roast a whole piglet. Maybe I'll make some friends, and then we'll have to share together. That'd be fine. Do I like pineapple pizza? That is controversial. You know what? Okay, here's the deal. I would normally tell people yuck. But I don't know, sometimes in a pinch, like if it's there, I'll have a slice. I'll have a slice. It's not my favorite. It's not my go-to. I prefer salty more often than sweet, but okay. So keep stirring. I've been talking too much and my shallots are getting a little bit roasted. It's okay if that happens, but you don't want that to happen. So I've been yakking with all these questions. Hating on sage. You know what? Fuck sage. Sage is getting all the rage because of, people are saging and clearing the evil spirits. Okay, done with that. Let's start doing this. Let me get some white wine. Okay, use a dry white wine. We're just gonna deglaze and kind of cool things down and get a little wine flavor in there. Just a couple of glugs. You do need some more dry white wine though. So I love sage in the fall. Like sage with brown butter, gnocchi, like that kind of thing. Oh God, yes please. But in general, sage. Ugh. Okay, now we're smelling that chard. It's coming through. That's perfect. Yeah, real. It is. It's a Friday. Why not? It's a day of the week, and we still have our health. Can't complain. This is gonna be great. Okay, so I'm just gonna reduce that wine all the way down. Well, she hasn't come, Andrew, no Paul for Lauren, she hasn't come back out yet, so I assume. Lauren Lane, author, dearest, if you'd like another splish splash of champagne, just holler. There we go.
I'm still good. I'm a lady.
Oh, she said she's still good. She's a lady.
But don't you dare drink it all.
But then she threatened my life if I drank it all. So, I hear ya. I will not drink it all. Let's put another bottle in the fridge. All right, so this wine is almost done. Reduce all the way down. It's time to start ladling. So the goal here, I'm gonna do a little bit more. We wanna scoop in like, I don't know, a half a cup at a time. It's not rocket science. You don't need to be super specific. Can everybody see that? Okay, yeah, kind of. It's not great, but it works. Get some of the distractions out of the way. We will need more salt. We're done with this. And we're done with that. Perfect. Okay. So yeah, the goal here, we just want to keep stirring. We don't want the rice to stick to the bottom and burn. And but we don't want to flood it in there like with all the broth all at once. I actually don't know why. And I kind of want to try putting it all in and just continuing to stir and seeing what happens as a test. I don't know what would happen. I have done risotto in the pressure cooker before. It takes 7 minutes. It turns out pretty good, but it's not, it's missing something. And I think maybe the beating from the stirring might do it. Oh, nice. Okay, so we have a wine recommendation here. If you're looking for a wine recommendation besides champagne, this is coming from my father. A white Burgundy or a Nebbiolo. There we go. So white Burgundy, Nebbiolo, 2 awesome options there. 1 French, 1 Italian. So one of them's right and the other one's not so right. I'll let you be the judge of which. No, I would do both. They're both wine, so I'll drink. I don't know if can you see this in the little side? Kind of. Is this easier or more difficult? That's more difficult. You know what? Let's move this closer. I think that might be easier to see, right? Let's bring to us. We're gonna do shuffle because I want you to see the whole point here. That is hot. Perfect. Okay, good. Is that better? Can you see it? Okay. This looks, and then do we want the light on or off? What? Let's go, I think on. I think on you can probably see a little bit better. It's warmer, it's not quite as pretty, but we're just gonna do it. All right, let's turn that. I've got a smaller burner. I'm turning it on high-ish, like medium high. That's still hot. I do that every time. Okay. All right, this is good. I'm gonna take a quick sip. This is now reducing, it's good. We're gonna keep stirring. See, I almost let it stick there, but I didn't. That would be like the first mistake in the kitchen I would have ever made. And we can't let that happen on camera in front of, it looks like 1 million viewers, so. We're gonna keep doing these shows, by the way, at least for today. At least for today. Gnarly nerd, dude, it will light off? Okay, so Elizabeth's saying light off. What do we think? Is this easier, better? Oh, let's do light off for a little bit. You tell me. You guys be the judge. I wish we could do some sort of like poll. We have 1 vote for on, 2 votes from the same person for on. Oh, okay, I'll zoom in. How about that? All right, now we're talking. I'd love to see Andrew crocheting. I think I'd love to crochet with Andrew. Wouldn't that be fun? Okay, we have another vote for on. Maybe we'll do on and off. We'll do a little bit on and some off. Okay, we need some more liquid in there. Good. So, and the liquid amounts too that I specified in the recipe on the website, and I think on this stream, those are just a general guideline. The goal is you don't want to run out, but if you're running low, you can stretch it out with water. That's okay. It's not going to be the end of the world. If you do want to get fancy and want to throw other flavors into this as it simmers, that's fine too. You can, throw some garlic in there. You could throw, I don't know, carrot, onion. whatever you want, try it. Try some herbs. I've done like thyme in there, rosemary, if you want to flavor the whole thing with that, but don't want the actual herb in there, that works too. Linguophile, maybe. I've been thinking about that. Maybe I'll work on some COVID-19 material, and I'll do a live CM special. There are some other comics out there doing live specials on Instagram and stuff. It seems like people are enjoying it, so I might. Yeah, okay, I'll use the towel for now. But I really want those crocheted pot holders with a little like ATW crocheted on the bottom, you know, for Andrew. I'd love, that'd be great. All right. So this is it. Like we're just doing this for a while. This is all risotto is. A little bit of onion, some shallot maybe. We threw mushrooms in. Oh, I think I suggested saffron in the recipe. Why don't we throw some in? I'll see if I have it. Well, whatever that was just broke. Let me see here. That's not saffron, that's more salt. Oh, I do have some yeast. Oh, good. That's a phrase I hope to never really utter again. Oh, yay, I do have some yeast. Thanks, Corona. Yeah, I think that's the most expensive spice. But like a little tiny bit goes a long way. I don't have any. I don't know why I suggested using it. It'll be fine without it. Actually, I think the Mrs. Pink Shirt gal doesn't like saffron, or like it isn't her favorite. So there we go. We may have just avoided it. Maybe she actually got rid of it. Maybe that's what happened. I think I have some here somewhere. I think my parents got it for me. I don't know where it is. I think it's up there, not down there, but that's fine. Fresh bay leaf is the hardest to find for you? Really? I feel like we get that. I don't know where you're at, Monster Master, but I feel like we can find that. Oh, fresh bay leaf. Yeah, that is hard to find. Nope, you're right. And you're always right. R.I.P. John Candy. All right. Am I missing anything? Okay, El Dorado. Yeah, we got that. Good. On. Just towel. Perfect. Good. Okay. So I'm getting hungry just looking at this. Oh, the other thing I was going to suggest too is you can make this a big batch. Like you can just scale up the recipe because. Will somebody let me know if that starts burning? You can freeze it, and then you have a whole bunch. So this is all, this is actually another mushroom risotto that I cooked, I think a few weeks ago, and I'm just holding on for quarantine times. But what we can do with this actually is thaw it out and then make arancini, which it's like deep fried balls of this stuff, which are fantastic. So, just something to look forward to. So if you make a huge batch of this, eat whatever you want, save the rest. You can freeze it if you don't finish it. It'll keep for, I don't know, 4 or 5 days in the fridge. And then, but whenever you want to, maybe this weekend, if you make this tonight or make it tomorrow, then the next day use whatever's left over for arancini. So good. That's also, I think there's a recipe for that. There is a recipe for that on my website. You might have to search for it. And again, I apologize for all the broken links, but it's there. All you do is take this, stuff a little cheese inside, roll it in some panko or some breadcrumbs or something, and then drop it in some hot oil for a few minutes, and it is perfect. Yeah, Avalikia, it's important to store food during the apocalypse. These are great lessons, and this is apocalyptic cooking. Okay. Can you see here that we're almost dried out, right? Almost. Like there's enough oil in there, that's kind of what's bubbling, so. What do you think I did? Hunter's stew. I don't know what Hunter's stew is, Rial. So let me know, and then I'll let you know what I think of it. Yes, Andrew. Oh, that would be fun to try, actually. Do an arancini with the pretzel roll instead of panko. Yeah, basically you can use whatever dried cracker or pretzel or something like that you have on hand to create a coating. Deep fry that. Oh, yes. Oh, roadkill recipe? Oh, I don't know. You know, if it tastes good, you know, why not? And if desperate times, maybe that's a desperate measure. Actually, that's 100% a desperate measure. So, yeah. That would be, I would require desperate times for that desperate of a measure for hunter stew. I feel like every time I see Smile or Will Die's name, I have to put one on, just like, okay, don't let him die. Who specifically? Maybe that's a good question. All right, I am gonna taste test this. I don't know how long they've been cooking, but it's got a little, we're about halfway there, a little over halfway. Yeah. Oh, another thing you can do, so you can make this in batches, but if you guys are the cocktail kind, then you can make batches of cocktails. Like this. This is a batch of Negronis that I made. Let's just pretend I made this 2 weeks ago. But if you have the recipe, just scale it up, get a funnel, put it in a bottle, and then you have cocktails at the ready all the time. You know, some of them might still require shaking or stirring. That's fine, but this is a great way to minimize the amount of time that you spend stirring or shaking. Unless you like that. What I kind of do, I like the ritual of it and the preparation of it, but just an idea. All right. Oh, okay. So so it's kind of like a Solera method for. Do they take it out, Rial? Like, do they serve from it over the course of those several days, or is it, or do they just do it 24/7? Okay. I recommend to make big dose of it. Am I a meal prepper? Eldorado, do you mean like prepping a bunch of meals all at once? Is that what your question is? If so, I'm not really. Only because I have very limited space in my fridge and freezer. Most of it's filled with wine and alcohol. So I don't have a lot of space for extra food in there. So I'm going to fare really well when the real apocalypse comes. But no, in general, I don't prep like a whole bunch at once. And because I like cooking. Like, there are people who don't love cooking a whole bunch. And if you're one of those people, then make like a triple batch of this stuff. And then you've got it in your freezer. You can put it in like individual servings size in like a Ziploc bag, freeze that. Perfect. And if you have like a sous vide immersion circulator, then you can heat it up, you know, in a bath of water for a little. I know that's a fancy thing to do, but that you can either microwave it, which is difficult for frozen food, thaw it out in the fridge for a few days, or use an immersion circulator like for a sous vide bath, and then you can heat it back up to like warm temperatures pretty quick. That would be really cool. Whoops. Yes, Robin, thank you for the reminder. Let's not forget to like and subscribe. God, you're my man for reminding me of that. So if you do like this video, be sure to actually hit the like button. I think Google appreciates that. And subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. That way you'll get notifications of when we're doing these things. And which is every weekday. For now, for this week at least. Oh, okay, so you guys have a bunch of freezers. So yeah, then you guys should be meal prepping. Because like, honestly, if you freeze stuff like this, it's pretty good. What I like doing, and I've got a few in there now, is you can cook like steaks sous vide, or you know, you can sear them off and then cook them sous vide, and then you can freeze the cooked version if you want, just so that you can only have to warm it back up, and then you've got a meal ready to go. Or you can partition it out in like a freezer bag, you know, or like a vacuum seal bag, and then freeze that, and then pull it out individually and sous vide that. I'm a big sous vide fan because it makes that kind of food prep a lot easier. So, yeah, only 3 freezers. Yeah, nothing. I've got 3 right here. 2 more over there. I sleep on top of a freezer. All right. Farm having people. Okay, let's test this. Yeah, I reused the fork. It's okay. It's just gonna be me and Bailey and probably Lauren. We're getting there. It does need a little more salt. And definitely some more liquid. Yeah, what else we got going on? Frozen risotto, talked about that. Yeah, that's pretty good. This might actually be enough liquid, which will be perfect. By the way, I've got the heat on medium-high. I like cooking risotto a little bit higher heat because I think if I evaporate more of the liquid, then I'll get more of the flavor left over, and you know, because it takes time to cook the rice. But if you're scared about burning something, or if you like chatting with people and not as much stirring, just drop the temp down to medium. You'll be fine. I think a lot of people don't cook risotto because they think it's really difficult, and maybe it is for some people, but you've seen, right? It's not that hard. We just chopped up an onion, or a shallot, some oil, rice, and then a bunch of liquid. So I hope that's fine. I need some more champagne. I do know that. I forgot to open the window, so I'm like sweating up a storm in here. Is anybody else kind of secretly excited to either grow a ponytail or shave their head? I'm just asking, because I can't get to it. I'm a week overdue for a haircut. I had to use the beard trimmers, today to take the hair off the ears for you people. But I don't know. What are we gonna do about this whole thing? It's gonna be weeks, at least here in New York. So, do we have a vote? What do we think? Should I go for the ponytail, or like the long wavy, or should I? So ponytail, long hair, or are we buzzing? What are we doing? Because this isn't gonna go. I can't let this I can't let this go. Oh, okay. You already have a ponytail. Nice. Definitely ponytail. Okay. Yeah, these are tough times. What are you guys doing for haircut? I know, Elizabeth, right? I do. He knows. I'm a week overdue, and even then, that normal haircut would have been that's at my max. This is too much for me to handle. I don't know how you guys are handling it. I mean, you have to look at this. I just have to wake up to it, and then I can forget about it for most of the day. I mean, I know it's a gift to look at, really, and it should be cherished, but it's getting long. If that gift has a little tarnish on it, you're kind of oh, thanks for the nice gift, the nice present. And yeah, I am the gift, in case there was any sort of confusion there. I just wanted that to be super clear. All right, so we got 1 vote for mullet, a couple votes for ponytails. Yeah, it's the return of the mullet. Is anybody buying Flobies? Does anyone have one? Can someone loan me a Flobie? Or are those not around anymore? I don't know if I just dated myself. Mohawk. Oh, that'd be fun. I could get behind a mohawk. Yes, Lemon. You gotta cut John's hair. For sure. I'd watch a video of that. Who cares if he even needs a cut? Just cut it and put it on YouTube. I want to see it. I would love to see all these spouses cutting their spouse's hair. Just a Flobie back in the day was like a cross between a vacuum cleaner and a buzzer, like a haircut thing. It was basically imagine like a beard trimmer attached to a vacuum cleaner, so that you could just go and it would cut and suck. 2 very good skills: cutting and sucking. Whoa, wine and alcohol. Bill, yeah, they are. Because, one's in the fridge, the other's in the freezer. There's 2 different categories. Yeah. I could go for the bowl haircut. Honestly, I'm actually kind of excited I kind of want to surprise you, all 3 million of you, and just come one day with like completely shaved on one side and like, you know, long hair over. I think that'd be fun. For you. Back is back! Oh no. He sneezed while you cut his hair. That is rough. But you know, if he's sneezing while you're cutting hair, he kind of had it coming, right? He could have warned you. All right, I'm gonna add just a little bit of water to this just to make sure we have enough. Because what I like to do is add a little bit of this. I wanna make sure to have enough stock at the end because I think it makes a difference when you add stock and don't cook it. Like it helps, it keeps it nice and creamy. So I'm gonna add just a little water. Just a little bit. We don't want to dilute all the flavor, but so this is the trickiest part of risotto, I think, is telling when it's done. Or is being able to tell when it's done. Because you want to stop cooking when it's still got a little bit of a bite to it, so it'll taste just a tiny bit underdone. Oh, I didn't need to add that. I think we're there. Yeah, Becca. Yeah, I can see that. oh, Laurelane Author's on. She's vetoing the bowl haircut. Babe, I would look so good with the bowl hair. If I could live out my Dumb and Dumber dreams. So you're saying there's a chance. Come on. Lloyd, I took care of it. Ugh. You did a Kiss concert before COVID-19? That's awesome. A man bun, El Dorado? Yeah, I could, maybe. Maybe. Yeah, why not? The only thing I will shave every day. I do enjoy, that's part of my ritual. Like I feel like I still control the quarantine when I'm shaving. If I let it grow out, yeah, we got no food, we got no jobs, our pets' heads are falling off. Oh God, that's so classic. But yeah, I feel like if I shave, I can still claim control over quarantine. So I will do that. Yeah, next time you guys next stream we do, I've got like dreadlocks, I've got a giant joint coming out. Oh, that'd be so perfect. It would be supplied by Craig, no doubt. Thanks for the drugs, Craig. Okay, we'll do one last infusion here. I'll do one more taste test. And I've still got it up, medium high here. No food, no jobs, our pets' heads are falling off. Oh God, classic. One of my favorites of all time. Anything but dreadlocks. Well, the downside about dreadlocks, I like how there's only one downside about dreadlocks, as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, the downside, but then you gotta like keep them contained. Like you gotta have a big thing, a net to hold them in. Well, maybe Andrew could crochet that too, you know? That would be great. Okay, let me taste test this. I think we're getting there. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna heat this bowl up as my presentation bowl. I always do a quick 30 seconds in the microwave per bowl. I just kind of like when the bowl itself is still warm so that by the time it gets to the table, you know, it burns everybody's hands. And does anybody else like when the waiter drops the plate down and tells you it's very hot, don't touch this? I always feel like that's kind of like a challenge. You gotta know I'm going to touch it. And I'm gonna do it while you're watching. Like I know you're watching this whole thing and I'm gonna touch it, but I'm never gonna say like, oh, that's too hot. I will acknowledge that it is hot. so that my date knows, wow, he's a real man. Okay, perfect. That is nice and hot. We are going to, that looks still pretty creamy. I think we're gonna turn the heat off. This may not need, oh, you know what? It will need another little splash of this. Not the champagne, definitely want that. So let's finish it off with a little bit. Good, let's toss in our butter that we're reserving here. I'm gonna cut it into smaller chunks so that I can stir it in better. Boom. And again, when you're making a bigger batch, you'll need a lot more butter. This is kind of the nice little secret at the end of risotto is you finish it with a little butter and lots of parm, and that way it gets super creamy. We're gonna whip this together. The goal here is to kind of emulsify it. So it'll take a little bit of elbow grease, but it's not that bad. We've been elbow greasing the whole time. Is that does that mean something I don't want it to mean? Oh, no, I think it's okay. I think we're good there. It is like an SOS pad. Yeah, air horn, where the heck were you, dude? Or dudette? Good to see you though, thanks for joining us. Okay, and our sweet, sweet parm. Let's do, don't spill it, Anthony, don't spill it. All right, this, we're just gonna throw it all in there. I don't need to worry about it clumping up because it won't clump. There's enough fat in there. Good, we'll take some, oh, that could have been disastrous. You never know what you're gonna get on these quarantine cooking shows. I'm either burning something. Whew. Okay, good. We're gonna put a little more cheese in because why not? We're doing it for Alexandra. She would have wanted us to. She's like, I'm still here. We know. Okay, perfect. Let's do one last taste test for salt. Perfect. Just like everything we make here on Quarantine Cooking with Mr. Pink Shirt Guy. Okay, let's serve it up. You know what? I'm gonna get a spoon for that. See that little scooper okay. Doesn't that look, can you see that on the little, hold on, let's make sure. Let's take all the distractions out here. Oh, you know what? I can't use the pot because that would be, that's hot. Oh, that's so hot. Oh, that's too hot. Okay, we are gonna use the towel. I'm gonna man up, I'm gonna do it. The towel, I want you to be able to see this. How hot is that? That's still pretty hot. So, okay, you can see that I'm getting a little choked up here because I do that every time with risotto. Okay, done. And we can why don't we finish it off with a little parsley? Just like a little tiny bit to help. Those mushrooms will make it look fresh. Yes. Well, you flipped over. Bad parsley. Ah. Perfect. What else do we need? How's that? How's the lighting? Is the lighting absolutely perfect? Yes. Oh, I'm shiny. You guys got to tell me when I look shiny. Okay. Yeah, oh yeah, by the way, if you don't have mushrooms, that's fine. You could put asparagus in here instead. And if you're using asparagus, just go with the tips. Actually, you can put it all in. I think I've got a recipe on my website for using asparagus in there, and I puree the stalks, but then reserve the tips just for adding in at the end, like in the final couple of minutes to help cool it down. But yeah, this is it. So this is kind of the goal here. We want it, I can't quite demonstrate, but like a classic way to demonstrate the creaminess of a risotto. And I can't remember the Italian word perfectly, the phrase, I think it's like all'uovo, something like that. Basically means like on the wave. And you want to be able to kind of bounce it from, you want to be able to spoon it in and then bounce it from below and see it like ripple a little bit. So I think this is pretty good. It's good enough for me. We probably could add a little more fat, but I don't want to get my COVID-19 too soon. Let's try it. I do need to cleanse my palate though with some champagne first. God, I can't go in there. Guns blaze. Oh man, that's great. Okay. Can we see this? Oh. Oh, that's absolutely perfect. It's so creamy. It's the mushrooms are so like earthy, mushroomy, a little bit chewy, like in the right way. They have like a little bit of fresh mushroominess to them. They're not like overcooked and completely mush. And the starch from, I'm not even gonna pretend to be a Food Network star. It's just so good. Oh, Jesus. I wasn't even sure if I was gonna have this tonight because I had a snack beforehand. And I was like, well, maybe I won't eat. But oh my God. Okay, that might be one of the better ones I've ever made. And it didn't have saffron in it. So it wasn't $1 million. Great. That's it. That's the risotto. So hopefully this cleared up any sort of myths or mysteries around risotto for anybody. Oh God, that's so good. The only thing I would do differently, I don't know if I would do anything differently. Like I think this is pretty good as is. But again, no mushrooms, that's fine. Throw in whatever you've got. I've actually got some leftover broccoli and cauliflower from a couple of these shows earlier this week. We could have tossed that in there and it would have been fine too. It just makes a totally different dish. And that's, I think, one of the nice things about this is you can kind of treat it like a Frankenstein of kitchen, like fresh produce stuff that you gotta eat that stuff first. But then you can also supplement it with something from the pantry like this. So.
Hey, before you sign off.
Oh, yeah, before I sign off.
3 people have asked your next recipe. Do you know what you're doing for Monday yet?
Oh, do I know what I'm doing for Monday
remind
yet?
them that you're not here tomorrow. It's okay.
I do not know what I'm doing for Monday yet, but I'll send out a newsletter this weekend and
And Instagram.
Oh, so if you follow me on Instagram, I will be posting what we're going to be cooking on Monday there over the weekend. So if you follow me on Instagram, you'll hear there. That's the one thing I will commit to is making sure I do have a post already scheduled for tomorrow. I'll update it with whatever we're cooking on Monday. And if you're not already subscribed to my newsletter, find it on my website. That's another good way to find out at least what I've got cooking for like the next day or two. I just need to get on it and write that so that those people know. Avaliki said, thank you, producer Lauren. Elizabeth, happy to brighten your quarantine day. That's why we're doing this, because we're all cooped up together, and if we can be cooped up together, I think that makes it a little bit easier, personally. So, hopefully you're getting some recipes out of this. If not, a chuckle, or just you can judge me, that's fine too. As long as you have some sort of reaction, great. Next recipe, I'll post on Instagram. Don't forget to like, subscribe. What else did like normal YouTube streamers do? I don't know if I want to do that shit. I don't care. Okay, that's it. Go have dinner. Go have fun. Be safe. Don't go outside. No, that's it. All right. Have a wonderful weekend.
Refill my champagne.
I will. Oh, I got to refill her champagne. We'll see you on Monday. Monday, not tomorrow. Monday. Okay. Oh yeah, hit that like button. Thank you, Rial. Because hit that bell icon like it owes you money. Okay. That's it. Later, guys. Have a wonderful weekend. It was my pleasure to all 2 million of you to stream today. Thank you so much for joining us. All right, bye.